This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
And good evening and welcome to another edition of Halas Report, the Wednesday evening edition. Of course, with me as always is Woody, and he, as well as I, have no opinion on anything. Isn't that right, Woody?
Yep, it's like I feel like Ian Rappaport getting all these fucking messages. Jesus.
Two guys on opinion, but a lot of stuff going on in Chicago. So the Bears did something that, well, none of us called. They picked up two offensive linemen via trade, not free agency. For those who have not been paying attention, which, hey, there's a lot going on in life right now. I get it. The second one we did, I'll go in reverse order. It's a bigger one. We got guard Joe Thuney from the Kansas City Chiefs for a draft pick in the 2026 draft. $16 million cap hit, right? That's what I said earlier, Woody, right? Cap
Yep.
hit is, Yep, 16 mil this year is his cap hit for the Bears. And it cost, I think it was a fourth rounder in the 26th draft. But the first move we took was we took Jonah Jackson from the Rams, the former Detroit Lion, who played 3 years in Detroit, then went to the Rams. Didn't have a great year there. They moved him to center. Didn't have a great year, but he had a 3-year, $51 million contract he signed with them. He was a Pro Bowler with the Rams, with the Lions, and he, of course, comes back to Ben Johnson. We have him for the next 2 years under contract, and his cap hit for the next 2 years is $11.8 million per. Thuney is $16 million for this year, and then that's it. That's all we got. He's a 1-year guy, unless we extend him. So right there, we have a new left and right guard, just like that.
Yep.
So what does that mean? We have about $50 million in cap space after these two transactions. What does that mean in terms of free agency, and what does that mean in terms of this offensive line?
Well, I think, I've been wrong the whole fucking time, but anyway. We'll see what Dahlman does at center, which, again, I said it many times, Atlanta would be crazy to get rid of him with a young quarterback. Or we're ready to sign a big defensive edge rusher. If we do that, hear me out, and everybody knows I hate Penn State. They fucking suck. They don't play nobody, but whatever. If we get maybe another offensive lineman or an edge rusher, I can see the Bears drafting Ty Warren, tight end out of Penn State. Most athletic guy in the draft, I think. Everybody probably thinks Genty is, but you got to think Boise State, not a real big conference. But I can see that happening. But first things first is free agency. I think we got to get a veteran, one of these edge rushers. That's, I think, the next step is for us.
So let me go to the edge rushers here real quick on both sides. Josh Sweat is available.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think Mr. Sweat would cost? First off, would Josh Sweat be the guy you're looking at from
if I was Philly, I'd be crazy to get rid of him. But if he's available, he's young. I'd still want Chase Young, but if Josh Sweat is willing to Eagles are, he's willing to test free agency, blah, blah, and hear nothing about that yet. I wouldn't mind him at all.
Well, he didn't get tagged. That's a good thing. So that way he's still available. We got the tampering period in 5 days. They've got 5 days to negotiate. His market value per Spotrac is 18.8, so we'll call it 20. Chase Young, I'm waiting for him to come up. His market value is going to be significantly less, I think. His market value, well, wow. They're saying his market value is 17.5. That for him would be 4 years, 70 mil for Chase Young. Josh Sweat would be 3 year, 56 mil at 18. So about $1 million cheaper. Well, hell, if it's between Chase Young or Josh Sweat, that kind of Sweat's 27, will be 28 years old. Chase Young will be 26 years old.
Yep.
Who do you take?
Oof. Everybody's going to say Sweat because of Chase Young's injury prone, but he was pretty much healthy last year. Oh man, that's a tough decision. I would, if both of them, if the Bears had a choice at one of them, they're both, willing to test free agency. I would definitely get Josh Sweat over Chase Young.
I mean, either way, it's interesting. You could have the Sweat brothers, non-related, kind of like how they had the Smiths up in Green Bay, which, good evening, Will. Bill, the Packer fan, of course, making comments about the Bears.
Yeah, Bill. Sean Clifford is going to be starting week 4 next year. Go ahead.
Or you could reunite Sweat with Chase Young. And that was a good duo, and they were a good duo in Washington. So either one's an interesting proposition at about 20 mil. That's still 30 million left in the cap. So what's even get one of them for around 20? You can still sign Dahlman for close to 20 and have about 12 million left in the cap for your draft pick.
And that's another landing spot too. You never know. Chase Young. Yeah, okay. Chase Young, you never know. We've been wrong before, so I might as well put this out there. Washington's building their defense. Who knows? He might go back there if they need an edge rusher as well.
Yeah, and they're going to be in on Sweat. And if they can steal Sweat, a division rival, they're going to do it.
Yep.
They're going to do it. So therein lies the question: are we done signing? And look, but even if we were to try to get Sweat, well, we could do Sweat and Dahlman, and that'd be about 40 mil. Or Dahlman and Young, and that's about 40 mil, leaving us roughly 10 to 12 mil for draft picks and odds and ends. But they're, according to over the cap, they're 49 on the roster right now. You sign those two, that takes you up to 51. You've got 6, 7 draft picks, right? That puts you up to 58 for 53. Now there are guys on this roster right now who aren't going to make it, like Austin Reed, who's QB3. He's not going to be on the 53 man. Ian Wheeler might not be the running back 3 in Chicago. He might be gone. Alex Cook could be gone. Jordan Murray, Carl Jones Jr.
Johnson.
Yeah, there are some guys on the back end of this roster. Bill Murray, who they just tendered. Chris Glasser, Samori Toure. There are some guys who might not make this roster still. So now we're getting interesting. And here with Thuney, do you extend him and maybe give yourself some more cap room this year by a couple $1 million? And do you cut? You can save $4 million with no dead cap by cutting Ryan Bates, who right now, as of today, is your starting center in Chicago because there's no one else signed at center.
Billy, my boy.
That's not going to happen, Billy. You know that.
My boy. I love Billy.
I love Billy too, but
Billy thinks just like me, and I love it. Well, not the Mike Evans, Derrick Henry fucking shit, but
So, Billy, what do you think about the 2 new guards and what we're going to do forward? I mean, do
well, you
we
got to
go
think this: the Bears today, and it might not be saying much, but they just upgraded their main need.
Yeah.
That's how you got to think about.
And even if you still have Braxton Jones at left tackle and Coleman Shelton at
Other way
center,
around.
I think you're good. Now Braxton, I know some guys like Broski doesn't like him, but he grades well. He plays well. You give him a better. Now you can put a better left tackle, a better left guard next to him. That makes them better. New scheme that makes them better. Maybe we don't need the left tackle as much as we thought. I don't know. Billy says he's just happy they're working on that O line.
Yep.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
I think that means you like the 2 trades we made. I'm hoping you like them, or I think you might have liked them. I don't think anyone's upset with the Tooney trade. Actually, I like both of them. I mean, because now you got your left and right guard. Kind of that was your trouble spot last year. The starting tackles weren't the issue. It was the guard. But we still got some other guys to re-sign that we think they may re-sign.
Yep.
You look at Pryor, yeah. Now Pryor's cheap, $4 or $5 million probably, but still we're down to $50 million or so. Do you maybe re-sign Pryor and cut Bates?
Well, then we're going to have to sign Shelton.
Draft the center. You sign either Shelton or Dahlman, and draft the center to be the backup. Cut Bates.
Yeah, because we won't keep 3 centers probably.
No, probably 2.
Yeah.
I think they'll draft the center later, but it's definitely changing the draft a little bit for us unless we're drafting another left tackle.
That's that's tough to say. I'm thinking if we address the edge rusher in free agency, don't be surprised if Ben Johnson goes out and gets Ty Warren at number 10.
Well, here's a question. What if they address the center position with either Dahlman or Shelton? I think you and I are both okay with either or.
Yeah.
One's cheaper than the other.
What's up, Cam?
What's up, Cam? Out there in the desert, the Valley of the Sun out there in Arizona. What if then they package the number 10 pick and pick up Myles Garrett?
No.
Just to throw that out.
I want that fucking number 10 pick. I don't want that to go anywhere. Worst comes to worst. If Dallas has to trade up with us to get Genty and offensive lineman, or I don't think Warren's going to be there at 12. I really, really don't. If Warren's there at 10 and there's no call from Dallas or anybody and Genty's still there, I get Warren or the best O lineman left. Could be Will, it could be Banks. Who knows? I want to keep that number 10 pick or go 12 the furthest.
Well, here's the other question. Do you think Garrett will be traded before this year's draft?
I think he will be.
Now, Max Crosby just signed an extension today.
Yep.
Sorry, Packer fan.
Ooh, 91 million guaranteed. Fuck me.
He's looking for that guaranteed money. Got it.
Wow.
So he's
$6 million. Wow.
So it's interesting. With the cut gets interesting. Devontae Adams is out there, of course, now. I don't think the Bears are going to
I don't want to hear that shit. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be, because remember, Ravens like to sign these old wide receivers, been in the league a little bit. I could see him either going the Ravens or maybe the Steelers. But yeah, I don't definitely Devontae. I don't want him in Chicago. We don't need him.
So some other free agents out there. Let's see here. Obviously, we don't care about Sam Darnold. Josh Sweat is out there. Milton Williams, defensive tackle, another Eagle.
That's the other thing. We forgot to talk about Becton too.
Yeah, Becton is still out there. Ronnie Staley is still out there at 31. You want to talk about a left tackle?
Yep.
I kind of think that Foles isn't going to do that though. Cam Robinson is out there at 29 at left tackle.
I don't want him. He can stay in Minnesota. Re-sign him.
Godwin, I don't think Godwin's going anywhere.
Interesting. With Cooper Kupp too, is non-Bears. I could see him going to the Chargers. Herbert, great young quarterback. He needs some receivers there, especially be a good slot receiver there at LA. I can see it.
Yeah. Deo Odabayingo, he's out there in defense at the DL.
For who?
Deo Ingbo. I don't know how you say his name.
For where?
He plays 3-4. Was it Colts? He had Achilles though. Ooh, I don't know.
I thought they. Hold on. Did I read something about him?
Dahlman, of course, is out there. I don't think we're going after any corners and free agents or safety.
We could bring Hubbard out of retirement. That'll be the quickest out of retirement playing ever.
They compare Chase Young to Javion Clowney, which is interesting.
Compare who?
The Clowney. Be interesting to see where he ends up if it's not Chicago. Mekhi Becton is still out there at guard / tackle. He could be. He could be a decent contract, and now you have a left tackle, but I don't know if we really need a left tackle. It's interesting with what the Bears do. I mean, look, we didn't see any of this trading. We've been looking at free agents in the draft. So, is there maybe some more trading to be done?
I think Bears they're gonna have a surprise trade somewhere.
Didn't we just have two?
Well, us giving somebody.
Yeah, if you look at this roster, I mean, maybe look at a lot of people think DeAndre Swift because Ben Johnson. Ben traded him last time. If Ben trades him again, the dead cap on that. We trade him before the draft. The dead cap is $6.666 million. We saved 2.666. So the savings isn't that big if you trade. If we look at other guys who could be tradable, you're not going to trade Montez. You're not going to trade DJ Moore, Jalen Johnson, Jermaine Edmonds.
Raiders signed Alex Kappa.
You could trade TJ Edwards or Kevin Byard.
No.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to hurt this team, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Edwards is the king of the middle.
You're not going to get rid of Brisker. You're going to try to extend him, actually. Braxton Jones would save you $3.6 million, $74,000 dead cap, but I don't know if you can do that. Andrew Billings, you'd save $2.3 million. I don't think you trade Gervon Dexter. I don't think you could. Tyreek Stevenson you could possibly trade, but you're talking $900,000 in cap savings. Not even worth it. Now I'm getting to players where the cap doesn't even like whatever. So I don't know. Unless
Now, would you say which defensive tackle that you couldn't pronounce his name?
let me scroll back. He is. Go figure the one guy didn't have a picture.
Did you say Osa?
Not Osa.
I was going to say because the Cowboys signed him.
Osa got a big contract.
Yeah. Nah, it's only 4-year, $80 million.
Bolton. Nick Bolton at linebacker could be interesting. I don't know if they're going to spend money on more money. Oh, here we go. Dayo, Dayo, Odi and Ingo, defensive line.
No, we're getting new ones. Sent the wrong ones. But the Bears aren't done.
No. So that becomes the question. What do you guys think? Where do you think the next move is coming? Is it going to be a trade or is it going to be a free agent signing?
I think our next step is the edge rusher. I'm thinking that's what I'm hoping.
Zeitler wants to come to Chicago too and play for Ben, and he's another guard, and he's not going to be that expensive. You want to talk about depth? You might be able to sign Zeitler pretty inexpensive. He's 33, 34. Give him $3 or $4 million to be depth.
Oh, that's crazy. No, you're down on the ground. That's crazy.
So and then you got the draft. But I think the draft has changed. Our draft strategy probably changed a little bit after these trades.
Still need a tackle.
Do we need a tackle though, or are they happy with Braxton Jones?
That's why. What kind?
Were you?
Overall, yeah, Braxton is not bad. Let me pull up Braxton's grade for the year.
I use skinny girl.
Do you recognize? You can't really say I have no green screen. I was going to say the holding call. Did you see a lot of that in false starts? I know he's young, but hey, it's not like it's not like you skipped college and went right to the pros. Look at the ball, you know the count.
Yeah, I think there's some other issues there for that. He scored. So Darnell Wright last year, who we're all fine with, scored a 79.3. Tooney had an 80. Jones scored a 77. A 77.4 on the season. Jackson was a 67.6. He had some injuries in that, and now he's coming back to play guard versus center. Right now, they have Kramer as a Bears starting center with a 28.5. That's obviously not going to hold.
No, we need Kramer at fullback.
Tyler Scott is right now our slot receiver for what's under contract. Some Bears fans will actually be happy with that.
With the other, if we sign another slot receiver, okay. DJ Moore was down with his yards last year. Keenan Allen, no comparison to his year before. He had 1,300 yards with Chargers. Rome, did good for a rookie. If we sign another slot receiver, everybody's numbers are going to falter. We need the needs right now. We don't need the wants. That's just me, though, if I was coach.
Right now at linebacker, we have Edwards, Edmonds, and Sewell. Sewell scored a 30.8 last year.
Yeah, he was hurt over half the year.
On the line, you've got Book right now seated as a starter is Booker. who was 52.5 last year with a 28% of the snap count. Dexter Senior, Billings, and Sweat. I'm happy with Dexter, Billings, and Sweat. Just need and Booker might prove out to be good at some point, but he's not there yet. So that's what we're looking at right now. We definitely need a center. I'm okay with Braxton. I think with Tooney next to Braxton, I think that helps Braxton become a much better left tackle, to be honest with you. So we definitely need a center. But that's what we're looking at positionally right now, as far as starters, according to their PFF.
The honey is high in points.
So,
Let's go out and get that edge rusher.
Yeah, but is it free agency or is it trade?
I hope it's not trade, because if it's Myles Garrett, then it's going to be our number 1 pick for this year. And I know there's Bear fans listening, and everybody wants Myles Garrett. We want to keep our number 10 pick or stay around that area.
Well, you know what when I hear Bears fans say, "Oh, give up multiple first rounders."
Hey, come here, look at me. Hey, look at me. What I say? No. Come here, look at me. Hey, look at me. What? No. Come here, look at me. Hey, what? You want it? No.
No.
Now, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm good with them even just giving up the 10 at all. I mean, what if they were to give up a 26th first round pick? What if Garrett doesn't get traded before the draft? Then would you be fine with the Bears trading next the 26th first round pick for him?
Huh. You don't think Myles Garrett will get traded if it's a draft trade before our pick?
It's interesting because, like, if you're Cleveland, you probably want them out of the division, so we make sense in that aspect. But then you probably want capital now, unless you're just stripping it down and rebuilding, in which case you might be okay delaying it a year.
Hot chocolate.
But the thing is, the Bears aren't going to be picking number 10 next year, you'd assume.
Just can't ask for it.
That draft pick is going to be as good next year as it is this year. So it's a tough question. But right now, the Browns have shown no willingness to really trade him that we've seen. So they may try. They're trying to re-sign him. I mean, he keeps telling them no, and they keep on trying. At some point, they're going to have to give in and trade him. You think?
Yeah, I wouldn't. If I was the Browns, I wouldn't just like, okay, trade you, see ya. They're doing their best.
Let me see if there's any new Myles Garrett news, but I don't think there is. But
Butter's a big
10 hours ago. What's not enough Myles Garrett? Updates. Philadelphia Eagles chances of Myles Garrett trade. Now, if Myles Garrett goes there, I know they're going to get rid of Josh Sweat. I don't know if they can sign both.
No. Let me see where they're at over the cap. Let me see what the Eagles have in cap space. The Eagles have currently 21 mil. So they would have to make, and they got 60 active roster, so they can cut some people. Then they just
Now,
they just released Darius.
Is that with Baum signing today?
something and I'll.
No, but Darius Slay being released isn't on here yet. And Darius Slay just saved them. Oh wait, Darius Slay. Let me see. He must have been a post June 1st. Yeah, he just saved them $4 million.
And how about Graham? Because he's retiring.
Graham will still count. He still counts on there. He'll count as dead cap. Regardless, his cap hit is 5.8. A portion of that will go to dead. I'm not sure how much will go to dead, but they'll lose a little bit. Let's see what it's cut. They call him a cut.
Here we go.
Here we go, Ken.
went through that first aisle and
Uh, it's not a need, it's a want.
Yeah, and let's see what. Let's see.
tortilla chips.
Let me see what Lockett's value is. Probably more than what we'd want to spend anyway.
Potato chips.
I mean, he would definitely be the slot receiver.
You think?
Classic potato chips.
Tyler Lockett
Corn tortilla
is
chips.
probably gonna. Well, his market value is 7.7 mil actually. So that's not bad. He was just cut
Veggie chips. Those garden veggie chips that you like.
32. He's gonna be 36, 33 years old. He's a little bit on the old side. That's probably why he got cut.
So, Damian, we don't need. Oh,
I mean,
brother.
look, though, he's cheaper than Keenan Allen in the slot, right?
I would try. I would do whatever to keep Keenan Allen. Man, he's a big slot receiver. He's not a small one. He's a big one.
But I mean, does this bit make a good argument then? Maybe contractually for Keenan, like, look, I can go get Tyler Scott for 7.7, or I mean, not. I mean, Tyler Lockett for 7.7. So Keenan, you want to say you got to be around 8 mil, dude. You can't be around 11, 12 mil. Let me see what Keenan Allen's street value is.
Did you say 11 million or something? Or
That's what it
16?
was, but but it may have changed because now Devontae is out there as well. So that might have pushed his price down. Keenan, 11.1 mil is still Keenan's market value at basically 33 years of age. So Lockett is cheaper. He'd be a good slot. He's not as big as Keenan, right? Keenan is Lockett's smaller, but he's good. He's good.
He's a long threat. He's long threat like DJ Moore is.
In Rome, I mean,
You
can really split a defense with those two. That's an interesting, Damian. That's an interesting proposition. I mean, that does throw something in the mix. Would you sign Lockett for 7 or 8 mil compared to Keenan Allen at 11.1 mil?
Well,
it's a money issue.
What I would do. I
mean,
said what I would do.
But it's a money issue, right? Because we have 50 mil in cap. We need a center, an edge, and a wide receiver. And if you're doing it through free agency, you do have the number 10. Let's say at number 10 you pick up a rookie edge, so you're not spending 20 million there on an edge rusher. Okay. So now are you spending 20 million on Dahlman, 11 million on Keenan? That's 31 mil, maybe up to 35 mil between the two of them, and that would give you about 15 mil to play with your draft picks and some other re-signings that you still haven't done. I mean, it depends on how much Ryan Poles has designated for those position groups, obviously, for the budget. But Lockett makes some sense. He's a cheaper option than Keenan.
That's the last thing I'm worried about right now.
What, the money?
No, the wide receiver position and the running back position.
Yeah, I'm good with Scott right now in the slot. Tyler Scott, I'm okay with it. I'm not doing jumping jacks and backflips for it, but I'm okay with it. That's all right. I'm okay with it.
We gotta re-sign DeAndre Carter too.
Yeah, he was 1.1 mil. I think he'll go about 2 mil. 1.1 to 2 mil. He'll be cheap. We didn't tender Sanborn, so we might need another linebacker, but that might come via the draft. This draft's a little deep there, because right now Sewells are, linebacker 3 in our base. But we definitely need a center. I think they're going to go with Jones, man. I don't think they're going to get rid of Braxton. I think they like him. I think we're looking at a center and edge rusher to complete the trenches, to be honest. Because if you got Braxton, Tooney, a center, Jackson, and Wright, there's your starting 5 on O-line. And then if you get whoever you get an edge, Dexter, Billings, and Sweat, I think they're good. And then you're looking at, okay, you're drafting maybe a tight end, or I don't think this is a big receiver class by any means. But at number 10, you could draft another O lineman. You could go tight end, even with Cole Kmet there, because he's the only one you really got on the roster right now. And if you cut Cole Kmet, that
Oh my God.
gets interesting too. Let me see what Cole Kmet gets you if you cut him,
10
which
million.
would probably piss off a lot of Bears fans. If he's post June 1st, yeah, $10 million in cap, 1.6 in dead cap. So he's definitely cuttable in that way.
They ain't cutting him. Now we need 2 tight ends.
Yeah, and and Foles just gave him an extension.
I do twice a day. You're not supposed to turn the creed phone.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, Foles has the draft hasn't gotten any really clear. It's still as clear as mud for the Bears. Do they need a left tackle? I don't know. They need a center, but there aren't any centers worthy of the first round pick.
No.
So I think they're paying for a center. Maybe they're not going to pay for an edge. They'll draft an edge at 10, or with their first second round pick, which is at what 30.
I'm watching the Kelvin Banks Combine.
Did you hear about this? Did you hear about Trump's
Wow.
thing
I
yesterday?
wonder if they,
Like a
5-1-40.
Democrats, Republicans all got together for this little boy
the second round picks are at
become a police officer. So
39 and 41.
police officers through different places throughout.
So I mean, you get value still at 39 and 41. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a receiver you're taking at 39 or 41. If there's
agent of the FBI, like for Trump's security, they gave him a little badge and stuff, and they made him.
oh, talk about the kid. No, you should tell
Democrat.
Jody they're doing a Secret Service agent,
Yes.
not the FBI.
He's a what?
They made the kid a Secret Service agent, not the FBI.
They made the kid a Secret Service agent, not the FBI. Ken heard you.
Tell him to mind his own fucking business.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I won't tell Jody that the new Bear 6 actual coffee bags are in.
That's fucked up. That's disgusting.
That's my next tattoo, the shocker.
Please not. That's
So I don't know. I mean,
I can't believe that guy remembers us when we go in there now because of that.
I'd like to see. I'd like to see us resign someone, one of the guys that we think they're going to resign.
Did you have dinner?
With the Bears not resigning anyone right now, it kind of goes to Bro's take that they're not going to resign anyone.
I'm here.
That's what Baldy said. We're going to have 3. Oh, my God.
Get a hug. Jake will give me a
Oh,
hug.
man. Baldy said we're going to have 3, resign the 2 offensive linemen today because we're going to have 3 new interior linemen.
Well, yeah, you're going to have right, left guard, and center.
No.
But are you drafting a tackle or a guard? I mean, you have to figure that the guys you trade for are starters. Is you mean Micah Parsons is still out there?
Yeah, no. Yeah,
That's it.
Micah Parsons.
Is he free right now?
Dak Prescott today just reconstructed his contract for something.
Yeah, they're trying to give Parsons his money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're trying to pay Parsons. I don't think Parsons is in the picture, Dan. I mean,
No.
yeah, he'd make some sense in some realms, but
Not a bow or anything. Put it on her head.
yeah, I don't see the Bear. I see him staying in Dallas. There's some other older options out there, but yeah, I mean,
Oh,
the
now
Bears
she
have the
looks-
money. Let me see.
Fred.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you,
Thank-
Philip. He thinks these people think like me, Ken. They really do. We picked the
I
wrong
don't judge
fucking
draft
quarterback.
class. You can't really grade out a draft class after 1 year. You know, it's 3 years. You can pretty much tell. Now look at Caleb's trending in the right direction. I know, Philip, you're mad.
That's some chocolate milk or hot
He
chocolate.
beat Green Bay, but you know they put a line around him. I think Caleb's going to do some good things in Chicago. I think we found the quarterback. I think last year's quarterback draft class, it almost didn't matter who you took; they're all going to be good. All the guys that went in the first round, I think, are very serviceable starters. Even JJ up there in Minnesota, he absolutely does play. But I don't know what the Bears are going to do next. If it's going to be sign a center, sign an edge, is there another trade coming? And then obviously the push is to get in the playoffs now. But are they trying to be a Super Bowl contender today, or are they trying to build this over 2 years?
Well, your question is like about the Bears not re-signing anybody yet. There's besides Max Crosby, there's no teams really signing people yet. I mean, Eagles, with Barkley giving him extension and Baum and stuff like that. There's not a lot of teams out there signing people yet.
Dude, you're 4 days out now, or 5 days out from the tampering period. You'd think you'd start to see a little more movement this close to the tampering period because, dude, we get to next Monday at noon Eastern, 11 in Central Zone. So the second we get off 10 in the morning on Monday morning, and the tampering period starts, and people start getting signed right away. Monday, you've got till Monday to negotiate these guys that you have.
I think the Bears are going to wait until this shit starts to see who's out there, who gets re-signed, who doesn't.
Like with Pryor, do you think they're afraid? Do you think Pryor gets signed away to another team though?
He really didn't show anything. So for a team to go out and sign Pryor, I mean, yeah, he's big. I want to keep him. But what did he really do this year that makes teams like, oh, we need Matt Pryor now before this tampering starts and the signing start, re-signing? That's why I think the Bears are going to chill until we'll see who's signed and who's not signed next week.
So Pryor, let me look. All right, Matt Pryor. Let me see. He graded out last year in 24. His overall grade was 69.9. His pass block was 78.1. His run block was 65.9. He's 30 years old.
Offensive linemen are all going to be around the 30-year-old age unless you have a fucking rookie.
He played 1,005 offensive snaps, 7 penalties, 7 sacks allowed. He was 33rd in snaps played, 19th in pass block snaps played, 41st in run block snaps played, 113th in penalties, 130th in sacks allowed. He allowed 0 hits, 94th in total pressures. He allowed 24. And he played 1 snap at left tackle, 49 at left guard, 895 at right guard, which is where he was best. And he had the 1 game at right tackle. He did okay. And even took a snap at tight end. So he's not bad.
But are teams out there saying, "Let's go get him" before the Bears re-sign him?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he's one of those guys that you can probably wait on and you can get him if you really want to re-sign him. I think the Bears will be able to do make it work. Then was there the Chiefs or Patriots and tampering season is open now? Oh, geez. Orlando's meowing? Meow? Okay.
Yeah, he's saying we're boring, but I'm tired too. So I think he might be making fun of me. It's all right. I got it.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears, look at Broski doesn't think they re-sign anyone, to include DeAndre Carter. But I agree with that. I mean, maybe they wait and see where the chips fall and see what they've spent. And then maybe 2 more people get signed, 2 more big contracts, and then draft.
Yep, we'll see. But don't expect anything. I think it's until Monday or Tuesday.
You talking about JB Orlando in the clink?
What's up with
Been
him?
in a minute. We've all been a little busy here. I don't know what's next up for the Bears' radar. I mean, I would like to say they were going to spend some money on a splash signing. Oh, he's like, yeah, that's what JB is. Okay. There are some good players out there. I mean, I'd like to see Sweat. If the Eagles aren't going to sign him, I think you're going to overpay for Sweat because of the ring. But I don't think we're going to get Ronnie Staley. But Sweat makes some sense. He had a good year last year. Actually, he had some big plays last year. I'd like to see Sweat versus Young, but Young at 17 million, I thought he'd be a lot cheaper than that. He only made $9 million last year. Like, what did he do last year? What the hell did Chase Young do last year?
Stayed healthy.
That's about it. I don't think Chase Young did much last year. Look at his grade. He rated a 66.4, 72nd for at 19 solo tackles, 7 sacks, 4 assists, 1 forced fumble. 47 hurries, 13 or 12 quarterback hits, 66 quarterback pressures, 2 batted passes, 19 stops, 1 forced fumble. I mean, he played 740 snaps last year.
That's probably the most in his career.
I don't think he's. But then you compare him to Sweat. Sweat was much better, wasn't he?
Orlando, I hope not, because we're gonna have to probably give up our number 1 pick.
Hold on, is he talking?
Miles Garrett. Whoops.
Go ahead, throw it up. Let me look at Josh Sweat. We do that.
The Bears, along with the Packers, will be active during the free agent period. Yeah, Philip. What do you think? All the news around about Alexander, Max Crosby re-signed with the Raiders. What's the Packers' next move?
Josh Sweat last year, 27 solo tackles, 7 assists, 0 forced fumbles, 27 stops, 8 sacks, 37 hurries, 9 hits, 54 total pressures, 1 batted pass. He ranked for edges. He scored a 75.7 overall grade, making him 28. His pass rush grade was 71.5. His run defense was 69.3.
Wow.
So really not much better than Chase Young.
Mm-mm. And it was the whole, like, Carter for the Eagles had a hell of a year last year. So interior line, pressuring the quarterback could have pushed him to Josh Sweat, but yeah, Chase Young is not too far off. I don't know, Orlando, because with them releasing Tyler Lockett, I know they're going to be doing whatever they want or do whatever they can to keep DK, even though he requested a trade.
So, and there was a report. Who was it? Was it Shefty said all the talk about the Packers and DK was kind of like didn't happen. I agree with Philip. I think Jair needs to stay in Green Bay. As much as I hate to say that because he's good, but I think they're not going to get what they want trade value for him. And
I don't think the Raiders are going to sign and trade Max Crosby either.
no, Crosby just signed an extension today. He's going nowhere.
$106 million.
Yeah.
Or $103 million, $106 million, $91 million guaranteed. I know,
but
I wouldn't be going anywhere.
I think the Packers keep Alexander. We were talking about the morning show. I think Jair is really hard to trade for them because of the cap hit and the issues off the field and the injuries. The Packers basically, I think, are going to be stuck with him for this year, and then they might be able to make him a deadline trade if he plays well, or trade him at the end of the year. But with as much time and money on that contract, he's really hard for them to move.
And Packers,
cut him, but they're not cut him because of the money.
Packers re-signed McManus, so they have their field goal kicker locked.
Yeah, Alexander is not an easy cut because of the money as well. So I think Jair ends up in Green Bay for another year, which is bad for us, but maybe good. I don't know. If he comes back to form, it's bad for us. I know for the Bears, we've been doing our part so far on offensive line, but now it's just trying to figure out where is Poles going next. I mean, I don't think any of us saw these trades coming for the Bears.
No.
And you said there was another trade, right, that fell through, Woody?
Which one?
The guy from Indy?
Yeah, we were talking to Will Fries, the offensive lineman. The trade with Indianapolis was something went wrong there, and I didn't read into it in depth, but that's what happened there.
So it's interesting because none of us had pegged for Poles to be making trades. We thought we'd be signing people, and we didn't even look at trades. And here he's pulled a former Detroit Lion who had a down year last year with the new team with the Rams, and he pulls Thuney. Interesting. Philip says, I know Crosby signed a new contract, but every year there seems to be a player that re-signed and traded. Yeah, but Crosby, no one's going to pay for that. He's going to be too expensive.
No.
On multiple fronts now. It's kind of like the Myles Garrett thing. Like, I think Detroit, that Cleveland is going to have a hard time trading Garrett before this draft. I don't think top 10 teams with the top 10 pick don't want to give up the top 10 pick this year.
Yeah.
I mean, and Cleveland had zero leverage on this trade. They've been trying like hell to re-sign Myles, and Myles like, no, thank you.
Now I see this now with Max Crosby. On Tuesday, ready? You guys to grab a word. I don't know. I'll answer that in a second. With Max Crosby being re-signed with the Raiders, I think Detroit, because I thought Max Crosby would go back to his home state. Watch Detroit go hard after Myles Garrett as well.
Yeah.
Detroit really doesn't need anything. Maybe a cornerback, but they need another edge rusher to help Aiden out.
So right now, Tyler Scott is our slot guy. I think a lot of Bears fans are okay with that. Odunze had a good rookie year.
Yep.
I think Allen, though, is a wait and see because Lockett's out there too. So that may push Allen's money he can command down a little bit. So yet to be determined. Dan Freeney from the Vikings. Yeah,
I have him.
He's under contract right now. He's not a free agent, is he?
Is that the Freeney that we had? Does he mean Freeney or Feeney?
No, Dan Feeney, center from the
Feeney. A little confused there.
Yeah, I think Dahlman might be the target. I don't know. Holmes is a cheapskate. That is your problem, Detroit. Zeitler would be smart. I know there's mutual interest there. Zeitler wants to go to Chicago, but Zeitler. And look, I don't think Zeitler's going to cost much. Let me look up his contract. I don't think Zeitler costs much. And the fact that he just wants to come play for Ben.
35 years old though.
35. He's a guard, but like last year his base was 1.2. His cap hit was 5.9. His market value currently is probably going to be around 5 or 6 mil. 9.2 is what they're saying his market value is, but he played for a lot less than that last year. His current contract has an average salary of 6 mil. I think 5 mil gets it done. 5 or 6 mil gets it done. He wants to play for Ben. I mean, he would be a good
depth. Montgomery.
Oh, Monty?
Yeah.
There's no chance we're getting somebody. He's got 3 years on that deal still.
Yeah.
And his value is way much higher. His contract goes through 27. This year he'll make 5.4. Next year 5.4 and 7.5 the year after that.
Who, Monty?
Yeah. Yeah, Monty's not.
He's too much like Roshan Johnson's going to be. He's a beast too.
He's got an out. I don't know if that's a him out or a team out, but potential out 2025. But I don't know if that who's out that is. If it's a team out or his out. Doesn't say. So it's actually weird. Monty has an out. I don't know if the team out, it's never going to happen. Who said? Who's the? Holmes, or I'm sorry, Feeney. Yeah, I don't think he's the target, to be honest. 9 mil is the market. I take it you're talking wide receiver for Keenan Allen. They have Keenan Allen over on Botrack at about 11.1. Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that.
It is. Yeah, like I said, Orlando, if you guys have if it's out as a team out, then yeah, they're not. But if it's Monty has a choice, Monty might try to get out because he wants to come play for Ben. I would find that weird for him to come out and then come back to Chicago.
I don't think Monty would leave a great offensive line and go to Chicago.
No. Yeah, injuries ruin everything too. You see that every year. But as we wind down, don't forget tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central, every Monday through Friday, 10 and 10 in the morning. Woody and I will be back at 11 a.m. Central, noon on the East on Sunday for another Halas Hall. Don't forget, we got open mic night Saturday night, and Red Zone Ranch will be on right before us on Sunday. And at noon every day, noon Central, the new lunchtime show. I think they're still running it. Is on the network as well. You want to get Jamal Williams. J-Mo's not leaving. They like him too much. Thank you everyone for the comments today. Thank you, Woody, of course, for being on as normal, because we're just two guys with no opinion. We have no idea what's going to happen, as what the Bears did prove. Yeah. But thanks everyone for being on with us. Thank you everyone on X for watching and chiming in. And have a great Wednesday night. We'll see you here at Halas Hall Sunday, and we'll see you at 10 and 10 in the morning tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Bear down. Bear down.
Bear down.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and MM The nightly podcasts are Halas Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails. NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.